The story of Moses is one that resonates across the ages, captivating the hearts and minds of believers around the world. He stands as a towering figure in the religious history, revered as a prophet and a lawgiver by multiple faiths. Moses' tale unfolds in the ancient texts of the Bible and the Quran, where he emerges as a central figure in the narrative of divine revelation. His journey begins amidst the backdrop of Egypt, a land of towering pyramids and enigmatic gods, where the Hebrews toil as slaves under the harsh rule of Pharaoh. According to the biblical accounts, Moses is chosen by God for a momentous task, to lead his people out of bondage and into freedom. With unwavering faith and courage, he confronts Pharaoh, demanding the release of the Hebrews. Yet, it is not until a series of divine plagues descend upon Egypt that Pharaoh relents, allowing the Israelites to depart. Guided by the divine presence, symbolized by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, Moses leads his people through the treacherous wilderness towards the promised land of Canaan. Along the way, he ascends Mount Sinai, where he receives the sacred tablets inscribed with the Ten Commandments, a moral code that would shape the ethical framework of generations to come. However, the story of Moses is not merely confined to the pages of Scripture. It is woven into the fabric of history itself. Ancient historians such as Manetho and Tacitus offer tantalizing glimpses into the figure of Moses, portraying him as a charismatic leader who challenged the religious and political order of his time. Some scholars speculate that Moses may have been an Egyptian priest who championed the cause of monotheism, echoing the reforms of Pharaoh Akhenaten. Others suggest that he could have been a historical figure whose exploits were later embellished with mythical elements. And the tale of Moses unfolds with a captivating blend of intrigue, danger, and divine intervention, as depicted in the biblical book of Exodus. Born into a world of oppression and fear, Moses' early days are marked by perilous circumstances. Threatened by a decree ordering the death of all Hebrew male infants, his mother takes a courageous stand to save her son. Concealing him in a makeshift ark of reeds, she entrusts his fate to the waters of the Nile. Fortune smiles upon Moses when he is discovered by Pharaoh's daughter, who adopts him as her own. Raised within the opulent halls of the Egyptian palace, Moses grows into a man torn between two worlds, the luxury of royalty and the suffering of his enslaved kin. Yet, fate takes an unexpected turn when Moses witnesses an act of injustice, a Hebrew slave being mercilessly beaten by an Egyptian taskmaster. Consumed by righteous fury, Moses strikes down the oppressor and buries his crime in the desert sands. Realizing the gravity of his actions and fearing retribution, Moses flees Egypt, seeking refuge in the distant land of Midian. There, amidst the rugged wilderness, he finds solace and purpose, forging a new life as a humble shepherd. But destiny has other plans for Moses. In a moment of divine revelation, he encounters a miraculous sight, a bush ablaze with fire yet unconsumed by its flames. Drawn by curiosity and awe, Moses approaches, only to hear the voice of God calling him to a sacred mission. Reluctant and uncertain, Moses hesitates, questioning his own worthiness and pleading for another to fulfill the divine mandate. Yet, God's will is unwavering, and Moses is chosen to become the instrument of liberation for his people. With reassurance and divine assurance, Moses embarks on a journey of redemption, guided by his brother Aaron and empowered by supernatural gifts. Together, they confront the mighty Pharaoh, demanding the release of the Hebrew slaves and invoking the wrath of God upon Egypt. But the path to freedom is fraught with peril, as Pharaoh's heart remains hardened against the pleas of Moses. Yet, with unwavering faith and unwavering determination, Moses persists, leading his people toward the promised land and the fulfillment of their destiny. As Moses leads his people out of Egypt, the journey is fraught with peril and divine intervention. Despite witnessing miraculous displays of power, Pharaoh remains obstinate, refusing to release the Hebrew slaves until a series of devastating plagues ravages the land. With the guidance of God, Moses confronts Pharaoh, challenging the might of Egypt's gods. But even as the Hebrews are granted their freedom, Pharaoh's heart hardens once more, and he sends his chariots in pursuit. Trapped between the vast expanse of the Red Sea and the advancing Egyptian army, Moses performs a miracle that echoes through the ages. With a mighty gesture, he parts the waters, creating a path to safety for his people. Yet, as the Hebrews escape to freedom, the waters close in on the pursuing Egyptians, sealing their fate in a watery grave. Guided by pillars of cloud and fire, Moses leads his people through the wilderness, their faith tested at every turn. At Mount Sinai, he ascends to commune with God, receiving the divine laws that will shape the destiny of his people. Meanwhile, in the camp below, fear and doubt take hold as Moses' absence stretches on. Desperate for guidance, the Hebrews turn to idolatry, fashioning a golden calf to worship in place of their absent leader. Returning from the mountaintop, Moses is met with a scene of betrayal and defiance. In a fit of righteous anger, he shatters the stone tablets bearing the 10 Commandments, symbolizing the breach of the covenant between God and his people. In a shocking display of divine retribution, Moses commands the execution of those who had turned away from God, purging the camp of idolaters. Despite this grim judgment, Moses remains steadfast in his dedication to leading his people to the Promised Land. With God's guidance, Moses establishes a covenant with his people, outlining the laws and rituals that will govern their lives. Through trials and tribulations, he shepherds them through the wilderness, preparing the next generation to inherit the land of Canaan. Yet, as the journey nears its end, Moses is denied entry into the Promised Land, destined to gaze upon it from afar. With his final breath, he entrusts the leadership to his successor, Joshua, passing on the legacy of faith and obedience that defined his life. And the tale of Moses, as told in the biblical narrative, is one of heroism, divine intervention, and the quest for identity and purpose. Born a Hebrew but raised as an Egyptian prince, Moses grapples with his true heritage and destiny. Like many legendary heroes, Moses' story begins with humble origins and extraordinary circumstances. Saved from death as an infant and raised in the palace of the Pharaoh, he grows up unaware of his true lineage. But as he reaches adulthood, the truth of his heritage is revealed, setting him on a path of self-discovery and divine calling. Faced with the daunting task of leading his people out of bondage, Moses is initially hesitant to embrace his destiny. Yet, guided by the hand of God, he finds the courage to confront the oppressive rule of Pharaoh and demand the freedom of the Hebrew slaves. The narrative of Exodus unfolds with a series of miraculous events and divine interventions. From the plagues that ravaged Egypt to the parting of the Red Sea, Moses demonstrates unwavering faith and determination in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. But even as the Hebrews escape the clutches of their oppressors, doubts and challenges persist. The incident of the golden calf serves as a stark reminder of the frailty of human faith and the temptation of idolatry. Moses' role as a mediator between God and his people is fraught with complexity and moral ambiguity. His wrathful response to the idolatry of the Hebrews raises questions about the nature of divine justice and human frailty. Yet, through it all, Moses remains steadfast in his commitment to guiding his people to their promised land. Despite the hardships and setbacks they face along the way, he leads them with unwavering resolve and unwavering faith in the divine plan. And, in the Chronicles of Manetho, an Egyptian priest named Osarseph emerges as a figure of intrigue, leading a community of lepers in rebellion against the ruling elite. According to these accounts, Osarseph instigated a monotheistic revolution, challenging the traditional pantheon of Egyptian gods and inviting the exiled Hyksos back into the land. Yet, like the shifting sands of the desert, the truth eludes us, obscured by the passage of time and the veils of myth. Historians and scholars grapple with the enigma of Moses' origins, pondering whether he was indeed an Egyptian priest who championed the cause of monotheism. Sigmund Freud, in his bold conjectures, proposed a radical theory linking Moses to the monotheistic reforms of Akhenaten, the renegade pharaoh who dared to worship the sun god Aten. According to Freud, Moses inherited the mantle of Akhenaten's teachings, carrying forth the torch of monotheism into the wilderness. Yet, like a mirage in the desert, Freud's theory remains elusive, tantalizing us with its audacious claims yet lacking concrete evidence to substantiate its assertions. While Moses' name bears the mark of Egypt, his identity as a Hebrew remains steadfast in the annals of Scripture. The dating of the Exodus, too, proves to be a quagmire of conflicting interpretations, with scholars debating the historical accuracy of biblical chronology. Whether it occurred during the reign of Ramses II or in the shadowy realm of earlier dynasties, the Exodus stands as a testament to the enduring power of myth and memory. And, in the realm of Mesopotamian Naru literature, figures like Sargon of Akkad and Naram Sin emerge as protagonists in tales that transcend mere historical fact. These narratives, rich with symbolism and allegory, convey truths about humanity's relationship with the divine. Similarly, the Book of Exodus, with Moses as its central figure, unfolds as a saga of physical and spiritual liberation, rooted in the soil of historical reality, yet reaching towards the heavens of metaphor and meaning. Moses, cast as the mediator between God and humanity, embodies the complexities of faith and doubt, obedience and rebellion. His journey mirrors our own, fraught with uncertainty, yet guided by a higher purpose. The incident of striking the rock, a pivotal moment in his narrative, symbolizes the delicate balance between trust in the divine and reliance on human understanding. While some may seek to unravel the historical intricacies of Exodus, its true essence lies not in the accuracy of its events, but in the timeless truths it conveys. Moses, as both symbol and individual, invites us to ponder our own relationship with the divine, to navigate the rocky terrain of faith with humility and trust. And, in the sacred texts of the Quran, Moses, revered as Musa, emerges as a figure of righteousness and wisdom. His narrative intertwines with divine guidance, revealing profound lessons about faith and humility. Among the verses of the Quran, a particular passage in Surah 18 unveils a tale that illuminates the depths of Musa's journey. Following a captivating sermon delivered by Musa, a question arises from the audience, pondering if there exists another as learned in God's ways as he. Musa, perhaps swelled with pride, responds in the negative. Yet, Allah humbles him, revealing that knowledge of the divine is boundless, surpassing the understanding of any individual. Directed by Allah, Musa embarks on a quest to seek such wisdom. His path leads him to Al-Qadr, a vessel of divine knowledge who challenges Musa's perception and patience. Despite initial resistance, Musa agrees to accompany Al-Qadr, vowing not to question his actions. Their journey unfolds with perplexing encounters, a boat sabotaged, a young man slain, and a crumbling wall rebuilt. At each turn, Musa grapples with doubt, questioning the wisdom behind Al-Qadr's actions. Yet, beneath the surface lies a profound lesson, a revelation of divine purpose veiled from human comprehension. In the end, Al-Qadr unveils the mysteries, explaining the hidden wisdom behind each seemingly perplexing deed. Musa, humbled and enlightened, grasps the essence of trust in the divine plan, transcending human understanding. The narrative of Musa in the Quran, much like his portrayal in the Bible, depicts a complex figure, flawed yet devout, navigating the labyrinth of faith and obedience. His story resonates across cultures and creeds, serving as a timeless beacon of humanity's quest for spiritual truth. In the Christian New Testament, Moses occupies a prominent place, revered as the lawgiver and a paragon of divine truth. His teachings, echoed through the ages, offer guidance on righteous living and communion with the divine. In Jesus' teachings, Moses stands as a testament to God's eternal truth, exemplifying a life lived in alignment with divine will. His presence in pivotal moments, such as the Transfiguration, underscores his enduring significance in the tapestry of faith. Whether Moses is viewed as a historical figure or a mythic archetype, his legacy endures, shaping the course of human spirituality. Across the monotheistic traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, Moses remains a central figure, embodying the timeless quest for divine connection and moral righteousness.